Good day, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. I have seen Sasquatch many times, and today there's some very interesting photographs going around the internet of a 2017 Sasquatch. Multiple little photographs taken of what I'm going to call the peeping Sasquatch for Colorado. So I'm going to do a little bit of a review. I'm not a critic, or there is no such thing as a Bigfoot expert, because there is nobody studying them and that has intricate details and knowledge of them. So I'm just going to give my opinions, and we'll just leave them at that, because I'm not a hater, and I've been wrong about many things, and so we'll just have a look at this, and I do find it very interesting, and I'm very intrigued, and I do have some very interesting insight onto these particular photographs. So let's have a look and have some fun with them. So stay tuned, we'll go through it right now. For the past 10 years, I've been conducting expeditions, documenting chronicles, and interviewing people pertaining to the subject of Sasquatch. With over 20 years worth of hardcore backcountry expedition experience into the most remote regions, I've tracked and studied various North American species that have had little to no exposure to civilization. I am a student of many disciplines, trained in the art of tracking by a Cree Nation's elder and a military sniper. My skill sets include camouflage techniques using the terrain and its features to mask ground movement, survival, evasion, and escape techniques.
I've been able to see for the first time some complete segments of Todd Standing's filming of Sasquatches, and I am firmly convinced that he has filmed Sasquatches, and that what he has portrayed in his documentary are indeed very close portraits, in fact, of the Sasquatch face.
So on to these Colorado 2017 peeping Sasquatch looks. So what I've done is I've arranged them from moving from left to right. I don't know if that's the way that we'll call this individual moved, but we'll start by looking at that. I've enlarged them to fit the screen. So they've been cropped a little bit, but just enlarged, keeping the proportions all perfect as I've originally received them. And let's have a look and go through it and see what happens. So this is the first one on the far left, top of the head you can see, and we can see some eyes there. And we're noticing a light source. See that there's a shadow on the frame, which is very interesting. So remember that this individual, whatever it is looking into a window that's lit. So that's a little strange. This is not typical Sasquatch behavior at all. Otherwise we'd be filming them all the time. So go to the next one a little further to the right. Now you can see clearly that this video, or these photographs, were taken from a TV screen of some kind. So somebody played the video, and then you can see the pixelations of the frame again, and even the pixelations of the Sasquatch. But here's eyes open a little more to the head. Now we're going to switch over to the right a little more. So now the eyes are closed. So we know that this, if it is a prosthetic, if it isn't real, it's got blinking eyes. The head's moving up and down a little bit. And, you know, we're going to even see a little later, we're going to see the head kind of turns from left to right a little bit. But again, this is just what the individual did. He took pictures off a TV screen. I've done it in the past when you're not technologically advanced. You do that stuff. So here's another one. Now you're seeing the eyes. Even here, what's interesting too is the eyes are partially open. So the nose is really wide. The eyes are closer together than I've noticed the Sasquatch that I've seen. So I don't know if there's costumes that match up with this. Even are we going to notice, we'll look for nasal flaring as well, which would be pretty significant, I think. See, now in this next photo, the eyes, even the eyes look, I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but the eyes seem to be looking from left to right. But again, remember, there's a light source on this individual, which is very confusing to me. If this is a Sasquatch, why is he letting a light shine in his face? It's just not typical Sasquatch behavior whatsoever. And then we go to this next photograph, which is over to the right and a little closer. Now his eyes are closed. And, you know, there's a pointy top of the head, which I've noticed. The bones in the above the eyes, which is known as the sagittal crest, are very pronounced. Eyes are now closed, or maybe even looking down. So, and then this is the last one where you see eyes are really open. There's some glare off of them. This one is a very interesting photograph to me. Even, just so much is going on here, but let's have a little closer look at this and zoom in and see what else we can deduce based on these photographs. So at this point, my first impressions are really, I try to think the way a Sasquatch. Remember, they're such an elusive being. They're so, they stay away from people, obviously, otherwise we'd be filming them, we'd have proven they existed. Why? Imagine what the Sasquatch is seeing. So he's got a light in his eyes. There's obviously somebody there with a video camera filming him. And man, does he ever look relaxed and calm and serenity. And that doesn't make sense. That's not typical behavior. Why would he be calm? And unless I guess the other perspective is maybe he's seen these people a lot. Maybe he's used to these people, and maybe he's spent hundreds of hours watching. That's a definitive possibility as well. So that's kind of my perspective from both sides of it. But having a light shine in your eye like that that's the really hard thing for me to get over here. Is why the hell would you tolerate? Obviously it's dark outside. It's dark behind him. So why would you tolerate a light being shined in your face? Could you do it? Especially a being that's, obviously, if you just think about the way the circumstances would come about. So you're a Sasquatch, you're looking in the window. Obviously he saw them looking in the window. Then you point a light with a camera at him and he doesn't move. He doesn't flinch. He stays there calm and serenity. Like, that's not typical behavior. However, if these are, and the proportions of the eyes aren't matching up from what I've seen, not to say that means anything, just from my experience from the Sasquatch that I filmed in Canada. This is all the way down in Colorado. So this is, over 1,000 miles, thousands of miles away from where I would film them and have to interact with them. So lots of things going on here. It's such a big deal for this footage to be real that I'm going to try to be really skeptical. I'm going to try to approach it from a very, very skeptical angle. But I'll say again, at the end of the day, if this is fake, a lot of work went into this, blinking eyes, gosh, there's a lot going on with this individual. And of course there's a whole story behind this that people are going to talk about. And, and that'll be a whole other interesting thing. I was told that, again, what happened was, this particular individual doesn't have the video anymore because his house caught on fire. When you start hearing stuff like that, it's a little, you kind of got to go, damn, you had this incredible piece of Sasquatch footage. Why did you people that are not technologically advanced are going to take pictures in front of a TV. I do that. I used to do that. I don't know. It was, it's just something that's not unreasonable if you don't know how to take still images off a video. And I don't know, there's a lot of reasons to do that. You go buy a crappy video camera, you play it on your TV. And even I was taking stills, photographs off a TV. And I found it very advantageous with my Video 3 back in 2007 because I was seeing glutes and a calf muscle beyond the pixelization, but the TV just gave it a very different perspective. So I can kind of understand that. But you hear these researchers saying, "Oh, I got this incredible piece of footage, but somebody broke into my truck and stole it all." You don't want to hear stuff like that because it just makes us look like a bunch of excuse making dumbasses. And so it really sucks that if there was an original piece of footage, that speaks a lot, right? When it's been degraded significantly, so anything that we'd be able to pick up is conveniently gone, right? So we're just able to make deductions on this. But I don't know. It's a little exciting. It's something to talk about as long as people are having discussions and whatnot. It's very cool to me. So let's get back and have another look and talk about a few more things that I can see here. Now I'm choosing this photograph because it's particularly one of the best headshots of it. Again, lots of pixelization, and you see the eyes are, I don't know. Have you seen masks like this? I don't really look at Sasquatch masks and Bigfoot masks, but I pulled in a little bit here. You could just, I don't know, make your own deductions. It's really, the quality is not great, and it is what it is, right? So we'll switch this one. So now, I found this one kind of interesting. The nose looks really awfully wide. And are those things on the forehead, those little marks on the forehead? There's little, I don't know, it's differing likely just due to the poor quality more so than anything. And when we switch to this next one, I thought I saw some eye movement there. Maybe not. Clearly, the eyes are able to blink and whatnot, which I don't know if it's a mask. That's quite a bit of work, but somebody can make that in prosthetics, and there's so much special effects makeup going on right now that you could probably take a costume and manipulate this, and then just use the poor quality to say, you know, you can't see it because it's such poor quality. And then this is going to be probably one of the better ones. I'm going to pull in on this a little bit so you can see the eyes with the eye shine, and there's a little shadowing across the forehead. I don't know what that's due to, but it's probably external. You know, there's some organic feeling to this slightly, but let's not get too jaded, because you know you can have that with a mask and a prosthetic. So you know, just gonna keep zooming in here a little bit. Obviously it's gonna have that pixelization, and it's strange to me to think that this, if it is a Sasquatch, it's looking right at a person filming him with light in his face, calm, serene. Very, very unlikely to have happened, in my opinion. So, you know, make your own judgments. I'd like to hear your opinions in the comments. You know, this is just what it is. When you have a video like this and there's a lot of excuses and a lot of screwy stuff that's going on, you know, at the end of the day, when you have these, you know, my house got caught on fire, and I didn't have a video, and all I had were these photos taken off my TV, and it's only these 8. And when you have a lot of excuses like that, it's really, at the end of the day, it's not good evidence. It really, it detracts from it dramatically. Why didn't you make a copy? Why did you save these particular images that you took photographs off the TV that are poor quality and not the actual video? So just a lot of excuses, and it's just, at the end of the day, it's not going to be great evidence. And are there masks? I have a tendency to kind of lean towards, I've seen masks that can look like this, but do they have eye blinkings and whatnot? I'll let you guys figure that stuff out, because again, it's just not going to be great evidence. The circumstances are bad. You know, a Sasquatch looking in the light. So there's just a lot of questions and a lot of things that don't make any sense. So, you know, at the end of the day, what's this evidence good for? And in my opinion, out of 10, I would rate it very low. I would give it a 2, just because there's so much missing. And we want to get excited and say, wow, if we had the original footage, and wow. But I have a funny feeling if we had the original footage, if the original footage was around, we'd probably be really unimpressed with it. So just my opinion, take it as it is. Obviously there's no arguing, though. This is not great evidence. It's not going to turn heads. This is, you know, this is not gonna, if there is something going on, though, I would like to say this: if this gentleman does have Sasquatch going on, please send us an email, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from him. And that's the real kicker, is if this little piece of maybe 2 out of 10 evidence can have somebody go out there. And there's lots of people in Colorado, lots of excellent researchers. You know what I would honestly do? I would just hand it off to somebody. There's lots of people that are doing great stuff in Colorado. I have expeditioners coming up from Colorado. So I would literally just hand this off to somebody else, let them go have a look, let them investigate it. I mean, if they're really still coming around, and, you know, he is legit. And it's a matter of, like what I do, right? You might say my video is interesting. My videos are just to help get people out here, because I'll show you that. Don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I show you a Sasquatch. So if this person's going to have the intestinal fortitude to say that, come out and I'll show you it. Come over to my house, and they come around all the time, show me tracks and tree breaks and structures and more evidence and scat, and we start getting DNA. Then this 2 out of 10 evidence, like the Patterson footage, it's very, very convincing, excellent piece of evidence. But then you put the tracks in there, that was done with me. That was the end of it. When Jeff Meldrum showed me the tracks, the mid-tarsal joint, and all the organicness of the actual tracks from the Patterson footage, that's it. It's real. Have a good day. They didn't know that in 1967. So it's one piece of evidence that has to add to more pieces of evidence. And if this is where it ends, best you're going to get out of me, in my opinion, is 2 out of 10. And anyway, thanks for listening. This was my Sasquatch Sunday video. I'm Wednesday live. I've got my Throwback Thursday still. I'm doing expeditions this year. So my website's discoveringbigfoot.org. And my movie is called Discovering Bigfoot. It did its 2-year tour on Amazon. It's 2-year contract. It's now on Amazon Prime. It's doing extremely well. People are loving it. It's a great piece of evidence to the discovery of Sasquatch moving forward. So have a look at it. Take care. My name is Todd Standing. I'll see you again next week.